Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Wanderhoof podcast. This is episode number 1, and we are currently filming in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, usually we will probably most likely be in an RV, our RV, and but that is not the case right now.
Yes, because much like the rest of the world, we are in quarantine.
Yeah.
So, we put out some questions to you guys and asked what you'd like us to talk about. And some people said, hey, your story, how'd you guys meet? What are you guys about? And then that kind of made us realize, oh, yeah, it's not just like my grandma watching. Like, there's people that have no idea who we are. So,
Yeah, we don't really do any kind of introduction on our videos, but yeah, we asked some people over on Instagram on our stories, what do they want to hear about in our podcast, and they want to know about us. So
yeah, pretty sure I just said that. Awesome. Shannon, why don't you go ahead and lead?
yeah, but it's important to say over on Instagram.
Yeah.
That way, if people want to ask questions in the future for future podcasts, they know where to do it.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, so one question that we got is, how did we meet?
Well, yeah, how did we meet? Who are we? Let's see. The story of how we met is almost 8 years ago. We've been together for a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
7.5 years, 8 years in July, right?
Yeah.
Been married for 2.5, almost 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's see. We met how all power couples meet at a party.
At a house party in Vancouver, Washington.
Yeah. Yeah, my friend invited her over on Facebook, and then she walked in the door, and I was like, ooh, who's that, honey? And love at first sight, all that good stuff. And from that moment, we were pretty much inseparable.
Yeah.
And, yep, that's the story. We've been together for like 8 years, so.
Yeah. Aside from just like our personal love story, I mean, we touched in our last video how we used to live in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Yeah.
But even before that, we met in Vancouver, Washington.
Well, I met you during like summer break while you were a sophomore in college. So I met you sophomore year of college, and then we were together all through your
junior and senior
junior and
years.
senior year. And
Living in Forest Grove, Oregon.
yeah, I had moved from Hazeldale to Forest Grove in order to be with you.
Aww.
Yeah, I remember just kind of like you had like your friends that you lived with.
Roommates, yeah.
And like I just start bringing items over one at a time. Like I left my toothbrush there and a pillow, and now I live here. And they were like, so he lives here now? That's not okay. And
they definitely weren't happy about it at all. Even though you never really left my room, so
yeah,
I didn't understand what the issues were there. But yeah, we moved in together really quickly without really a conversation. It was more just like, do you have to keep leaving?
Yeah.
Like, maybe you should just stay here. And you did.
And then after college, let's see, we moved to Hillsboro.
Got our first apartment together. No roommates, which was awesome.
I got a big boy job selling used cars. I was like a sleazy used car salesman.
Yeah. And I got... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I really love that job.
Yeah.
I really do. I enjoy sales, and I was working at Lee Murphy Auto with Dan Murphy. I actually just talked to him on Facebook the other day.
Yeah,
I do miss that guy. He's a ton of fun. But
that was a fun time, and I had just graduated from college and got my degree in psychology. And was super excited to get my first job in the field as a behavioral youth counselor because, well, I love working with kids. And yeah, I mean, that was in Lake Oswego at Youth Villages, which that location has been since shut down, which understandably so. Youth Villages is like a big corporation across the entire country, so they do good all over the country, but my particular location was not so successful, and I stayed there for about 6 months. It was a very difficult job.
Yeah, that was about the time we started having like just a conversation about like, okay, well, what do we want to do? Where do we want to go? Because I don't think that we were looking at our options then, and we didn't really like any of them. And we said, well, maybe we should do something crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of opened my eyes to that. Throughout my whole life, I was always like, go, 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 super busy with school. I played softball competitively, and I had piano lessons since, until high school. I was on the swim team, bowling team. Like, I was always doing like things, and then in college, working, softball, all of that. And then right out of college, jumping right into that really intense job. And you kind of were like, Shannon, why don't you just not have a job for a few months and just not
Won't you
have
figure?
all these responsibilities?
Won't you figure yourself out?
Maybe just, yeah, have some time to yourself to have some time to yourself. And that was like a really weird concept for me. But I loved it.
Yeah, we played a lot of League of Legends.
We played a lot of League of Legends because we're a little bit nerdy, which is fun.
Nerd.
But during that time, I also was watching a lot of Netflix.
We were just watching a lot of anime and playing a lot of League of Legends.
Yeah, but I was watching that one show. Well, you, since we've been together, had always said how you wanted to live in the mountains. And to me, that was crazy. I was like, I hate being cold. Like,
Yeah.
why would I ever do that? I
Well-
want to go live on a beach somewhere. But then I started watching that show during that time where I wasn't working, called Buying Alaska. I don't know if you guys have seen that show, but it makes Alaska look like the most amazing place in the world and absolutely beautiful. And that's when I was like, maybe we should move to Alaska.
Yeah. And then long story short, we saw this like Dick Brownicki video on YouTube, who essentially was like this older gentleman who moved out into the wilderness and packed in all the tools that he'd need to essentially build a cabin that he'd lived at for, I think, like the next like 50 years. And pretty amazing story. And we said, you know what, I want that. And then we went there, and 4 years later we were like, nah, I think we're good on that. I want to go somewhere where I can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like a whole couple hours story right there.
So I guess just basic introductions. Who are you?
I'm Shannon.
And who are you, and what do you like to do?
I'm Shannon. I mostly man the camera. Got into photography when we decided to move to Alaska because we decided, holy crap, this is going to be an awesome journey and we should document it. And bought like an entry-level Nikon. I don't remember the model now. My sister actually has it, which was awesome to pass along to her. But anyway, so started the photography journey there. Really enjoyed it, but it wasn't like a love at first sight for me, to be honest. And then we started that food blog as soon as we moved to Alaska, so got really into photographing food, which was actually super fun. Like, I really enjoyed the staging staging parts of it. And then I built a whole like light box type thing from stuff that I found at Joann's Fabrics.
It took up like 1/3 of our tiny cabin.
Yeah, our little tiny cabin. But it did the trick. But then I decided I don't, like, you love cooking and make amazing food, but I don't really care to write about it. I just like eating it. So decided that maybe the food blog wasn't the best way to go. How do you write about food?
It was one of those things where we've continuously like done random things like throughout us being together, right?
Yeah.
Like it was like the food blog and then a couple other things and a couple of random YouTube channels that are like floating in the ether right now that whatever.
Yeah, don't find those, please.
And
some of them are hilarious and some of them are really embarrassing.
We'll just say that like even like while you were in college, we have like little funny videos that we would make and stuff. So we've kind of always been not necessarily like filmmakers or not even like seriously like trying to improve, but it's always been important to like capture the memories. Yeah. And like try
just to, like, I think creating things together has been a huge goal of ours.
Yeah.
that was one of the reasons why we moved to Alaska in the first place, is we wanted to be able to have a family and, be hands-on with our kids and be able to be in their lives every day and be the ones to raise them, really. So I think that has always been a driving factor in everything that we've done.
Yeah.
But anyway, so food blog failed, and I continued to like dabble with photography, and then you were like, "Hey, I'm going to be a video editor, and you're going to be, a filmmaker, or you're going to be a cinematographer."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh gosh, okay, well that's really different than photography." At the time, I didn't know. I was like, "Okay, I can take a picture, so I can probably take a moving picture, right?"
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't quite work like that. I mean, it's definitely a leg up to know how to use a camera, but using it for film is so incredibly different than using it for just photography. So jumped headfirst into that.
Yeah, and like maybe 100 terrible videos later, and then some halfway decent ones for some company. Well, let's talk about how it actually happened.
Okay. Well, okay, but let's give you a chance to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I love to cook. I love to read sci-fi fantasy novels, and I'm currently writing one, and hopefully that's a thing here in the future. I already finished it, but I'm actually rewriting it. And okay, that's it. So this is how me and Shannon got into actually making videos, like on a real level.
Okay, this is kind of a crazy story, but it kind of goes with the theme of our lives of just
you guys
like,
ever heard that
hey,
saying,
let's try this.
Fake it till you make it? That's what happened.
Yeah. I love that saying. I mean, I've been a huge proponent of that saying my entire life.
Yeah, I mean, don't fake it, obviously, but to me that means throw yourself into some situations in which you feel entirely uncomfortable and do it until you learn to adapt, and then you'll grow. But anyway, okay. You want to start it? Want me to start it? I'll start it.
Okay.
All right. So I was working at the management level at a hotel. I was the executive housekeeper at a Holiday Inn Express, right? So I was
and Fairbanks, the only one that exists.
Yeah, so I was like the manager of like the housekeeping department or whatever, and like so suit and tie and cool stuff like that.
Can we talk about how you got that job? Actually,
no, it's a stupid story.
It's hilarious.
Let's keep the
fine.
The stream.
Maybe another time.
So, a hotel uses a lot of cleaning supplies, and our supplier, our rep, his name was Adam Cole, and me and him got to be kind of close during my time working there.
Yeah, actually, he does wedding films in Fairbanks.
Yeah,
Adam Cole Films. So if you guys want to check him out.
Yeah, and then we had gotten to have a conversation, and like it was a few weeks prior to this that I was like, hey, I think I want to like learn how to like edit videos, and I just wanted to learn how to edit videos to make like some YouTube content that I really enjoyed. I thought I would like to try making that, and so.
And what was it?
It was Jason A. If anybody
so
knows
kind of
him.
like newsy, maybe a little more alternative newsy.
Yeah, it was like alternative news. He's like a big dude now. He has like over 1 million subscribers. But I started watching Jason A like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
and I think he had less than
longer than that.
Yeah, he had like less than 100,000 when I started watching him. But I seen that, and like not in a cocky way, but I was like, I could make that.
Yeah.
But more so, I was like, I think I'd really like to make that, just like as a kind of hobby type thing, And a few weeks later, Adam was like, hey, so like you said you do video? And I was like, yeah. Even though I had cut maybe like I had like just practiced maybe finishing like maybe 1 or 2 videos.
On some like free software, what was it?
It was like the one with the shark, like Lightworks. I think it's called Lightworks.
Something like that.
Yeah. And he was like, cool. Well, I'm like a music composer in a play, like a stage play. And we want to hire someone to basically film the trailer for the play, like come to some rehearsal.
Promo videos.
Yeah, and do some promo videos and stuff like that they can like slow release leading up to the opening night of the play to kind of build some hype. And I was like, great, what does it pay? And he's like, absolutely nothing. And I was like, yeah, we'll do it. And
yeah. Well, you took this on without like my knowledge whatsoever. You're like, yeah, I've been video editing for years, and Shannon, she knows how to work a camera. Like,
yeah. I was like, yeah, we'll figure it out, dude. This sounds cool.
Oh, and don't forget that he had all the camera equipment himself that he was willing to lend to us because at the time we owned a Nikon. Like it wasn't even for film. I'm not
Yeah.
even sure that there's an option to do video on that camera.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember that this was, you have to give you guys some perspective. This is pre us knowing really like understanding the concepts of like ISO
Oh,
and
yeah.
aperture
I knew how to shoot pictures on auto.
on manual.
No,
Yeah.
not manual. I only knew how to do it on auto.
Yeah. So anyway, we walk in there and
Day one of the
Shannon,
rehearsal.
you go ahead. You asked Adam how to zoom in a prime lens.
Yeah, well, he gave me all of this gear that I was completely unfamiliar with. Luckily, he put the lens on the camera for me because I don't even think I would have been able to do that at that point. And I didn't really know what to do. I had it on a tripod, like in the corner of the room. It was a very small room where they were doing the rehearsal to start with. And I was just standing there recording. Like, I didn't want to get in the way. I didn't really know what to do. And I have Taylor saying, like, move around.
I was like, what the hell are you doing?
You're like, move around.
And let's be clear.
Move around? What do you mean move around? Where do I move around to?
I went in there with absolutely no intention of actually touching the camera. I was just going to
He puts it all on me.
I was just going to watch the room and then try to give Shannon like direction. And that was my whole job. So
yeah,
I was like,
he really threw me into this. That's kind of messed up now that I think about it. The first time ever trying to film anything, and it's like during this live rehearsal of a play in front of like, I don't know, it wasn't a lot of people, but it was definitely a room full of people,
Hey, you know what we'll do is the play that we shot was called, it was an adaptation of The Last 5 Years. Mm-hmm. Maybe we should put the clip in, the trailer.
Yeah.
Put the trailer
okay.
in?
So we did like a couple videos, right? And they got better as we went. I think we did like 3 or 4.
Okay. That's pretty subjective, but yeah, go on.
They definitely got better as they went because by the last video that we made for them when they were actually on stage, I was working a glide cam. I was going up in their faces. I'm pretty sure pissing off the actors.
Oh, for sure.
At that point, I realized I just need to get the shot.
I remember that guy was singing. I forget his name. Not TJ, but the other guy.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his name. But he was singing. And he was a pro. Like he
was great.
He got like this close to his face, but you came in hot with a freaking, a glide cam and the whole setup, and you're just like, woo. And he didn't miss a beat. He's just like, yeah. Like,
he was like totally working the camera.
He was in it.
He was working it. Yeah, they all did. They all did a really great job.
Yeah, it was great. Hey, let's cut to the clip.
Okay.
The falling in love, I think it's kind of timeless. We get butterflies in our stomach and we're happy and nothing can go wrong.
The minute I first met you.
Being caught up in success and all the attention you get and maybe all the temptations that come with that, if there's any cracks in anywhere else, it's going to show.
Don't kiss me goodbye.
There's a tremendous amount of talent here in Fairbanks. An independent theater company, I think, is exactly what we need.
It's making a commitment to a level of art.
We can do something more meaningful.
Leave it for now. All you can say, all you can feel.
So that was like the first official thing we made.
Yeah.
And like we looked at it and we're like, hey, that actually looks like not a turd.
Yeah.
Like, that's great.
Yeah. The Interior Independent Theater Company was very happy with it. Mm-hmm. I think it got pretty good feedback. And so right after that, one of the actresses
mm-hmm.
from that play really liked it. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, from there, it just kind of built on a little bit more work here and there.
We got our first paid gig.
Yeah, we got our first paid gig, and then
after that, and then you were like, "Okay, I'm gonna quit my job."
Well, it was a while. We made the decision that we were gonna do it, but we didn't actually follow through with it for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it led to a couple more paid gigs, and that was when we were like, "Okay, this is far more creatively fulfilling," and I think maybe we should put ourselves in a situation where we can make that happen. But anyway, that's kind of the start of our filmmaking journey. Was kind of just jumped into it. Very little experience.
Pretended like we knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam probably knew at that time when I said, "How do I zoom in?" I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
He said, "You walk."
You walk it forward is
Oh.
how you zoom in with the
Oh.
prime lens. Pro tip. So,
Anyway, humble beginnings. That was probably like what, 4 years ago.
yeah. Yeah. And let's see, that was when we went out and we bought the same camera that we used with Adam, which was a Canon 80D.
Yep.
Because we're like, it's the only other camera we've ever touched, you know? So
Well, we did our research too, and
we
at
did
the
our
time,
research.
that was what Sam Colder was using.
No, Sam Colder was using a 5D Mark II.
I thought at one point he was using a Canon 80D.
No, he's using a 5D Mark II with the Black Lantern setup. He probably keeps a Canon 80D in the back pocket for time lapses like we do now.
Yeah.
But that guy's been shooting on a 5D series forever. Yeah. Anyway, we'll probably talk about Sam Colder another time on this podcast. He's a big inspiration to us. His videos is really what pushes us to constantly be doing better.
Yeah.
And I would say it's a 50-50 split. Half the time we watch Sam Colder, we become ultra motivated and inspired and want to reach to the heights of the heavens in which he is performing filmmaking. And then the other 50% of the time, it crushes our souls and we just want to lay in bed and
We
eat
should
ice
just
cream
quit.
and throw away our cameras. And
We're not worthy.
we're not worthy. Yeah. But anyway, so
Yeah.
big hero.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much, I think, a pretty good introduction of who we are and
What we're about.
how it got started.
Yeah. So you gotta we're like a couple, right? Like
Yeah.
Man and woman.
Yeah.
We are married and we are a family.
Holy matrimony.
Yeah, family unit.
Yes.
And then we've been together for so long and we've been in such close quarters for such a long time that it's like we are like the absolute best of friends. And
Yeah.
but for a long time, for a big portion of that relationship, we've constantly been trying to like do something, build something, learn skills and sharpen skills. And
Build
it's
a
like,
business.
yeah. So we're also like business partners.
Yeah.
And then we're like creative collaborators.
Yeah,
Right.
which is probably our biggest struggle,
Yeah.
if we're being honest.
Yeah, which is good now because then now we've kind of developed different tastes and what we'd like to see and do, and now that we actually have like a separation of duties with Shannon like more behind the camera and then me and
Right.
like more in post production and stuff, it's finally reaching a place where we're really really proud of what we're making, but it took a long time to get there.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure someday we'll maybe incorporate some of the videos that we made back in the day, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we did incorporate some of our old footage in our last video.
Yeah.
And I mean, briefly, so you can't tell how horrible it is.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, it definitely helps with the division of labor because it's kind of like, okay, if I'm responsible for getting the shots, then that gives me a clear direction of what I need to work on and aspire to get.
Yeah, I think especially in the beginning, we were kind of fumbling over each other a lot, trying to.
Oh yeah.
We both wanted the same thing. We just both didn't really have a clear idea of how to get there, and so it becomes like
Right.
this.
Well, it's hard
Yeah.
too because you're like a super creative person, like imaginative person, and like I don't.
I accept that. I'll take that.
Yeah, and so
No, I'm just kidding.
well, it's true.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. So I think it was, I don't know, maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but I think maybe it was a little hard to give me the camera in the beginning, maybe.
No, I
To
don't
be
think
like, it'll be your duty.
No, I learned pretty quickly that I was kind of shit, like with a camera in my hand. To be honest, like I don't think I have the. I don't think especially back then, I don't think I had the patience to learn the technical aspects of and really how to use a camera and develop the eye for it. The only thing I ever really appreciated, like when I started studying film, like in a serious way, was like, technique, like, the
Right.
blocking techniques of like Spielberg or like, set design and actor marking of like Christopher Nolan and,
Yeah.
I always appreciated like directorial technique, but I think as far as like camera operation, I don't think I have that gene.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
And back then too, that was the thing. It's like we knew what we wanted, but we just didn't have the vocabulary. We didn't know how to
Right.
speak the language. We didn't know how
Right.
to say like, you know, I want this Dutch angle or this eccentric shot, or
Right.
you know, I want, you know, a pan
Even like a
lip.
simple pan,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, we didn't-
anything.
So once we acquired like, you know, the vocabulary, I think things started really coming together.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been a long journey to actually be making videos that I think we're both like really proud of.
Yeah.
I mean, I think maybe that's a lie. I think we both are a little bit disappointed in every video that we put out there. I don't think we're ever
Yeah.
fully satisfied with it, but
Absolutely. I mean, there's still so much more to learn on both ends, production and post-production, even pre-production, which is, you know, definitely an area that we're not great at yet.
we've always sucked at
We
pre-production.
suck at
we don't plan
pre-production.
anything. We're terrible at planning.
I know.
We're terrible at it.
I know. If we could just like nail that down, think about what we could
How much better it would be. You know?
Yeah.
And you watch all these videos of like how to be better, and everyone's like, you got to make sure you plan your shots
Yeah.
and have a plan. And it's like, nah, dude, we don't do that.
No, we just like kind of
like a
show
waste
up
of
and go with
Why would I
it.
be planning when I could be shooting? Yeah, makes no sense.
Yeah, no, that would make a huge difference in our videos. And I'm really excited to just continue getting better. But I think we're finally at a point where we're not embarrassed when we post a video. That's what I would say. There's definitely.
Oh, we weren't back then either, honey. We were posting those videos like, ooh, we're hot. Look at this video.
don't know.
Look at this sweet dissolve I put on this, bro.
No, I don't know. I
I
think
thought we were hot.
I think we were excited that we put a video together,
Yeah.
but it always definitely felt like really corny.
I remember I have a distinct memory back then of being like, you know, I'll have like a minute and a half worth of footage on the timeline, but the song that I used is like 2 minutes. And so I'm like, dude, I need another 30 seconds of footage. The song's 2 minutes. You know, it's like I used to just cut the footage to fit like, the entire song.
Yeah,
you know?
whatever
It's like,
length is the song.
fun times.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's kind of us and who we are in our filmmaking journey. And let's talk about last week's video, the titled "This Almost Didn't Happen."
This almost never happened.
This almost never didn't happen.
No.
The response has been incredible, absolutely incredible. I can't. We were trying something new. We were trying like a new style, which we're going to continue to do. We're going to make videos that some people are just going to hate, and you know, because we're trying to. This channel's a lot about us trying to grow and, you know, provide like new opportunities, to provide you guys with cooler entertainment and like get better.
Right.
But we don't know what we're doing wrong or what we can do better until someone's like, hey, that was really great, or like, don't ever do that again, that was trash.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so-
Well, I think like with that video in particular, it's hard to know how people are going to react because that one was a piece of our story, you know, and so we are so close to it that it's easy to be like, oh my gosh, remember all those beautiful memories? Like,
Yeah.
oh, Alaska was so beautiful, and meeting Johnny, who sold the RV to us. Like, all of those things, they touch us here because we lived it. So it's hard to know if we're getting that across to the audience who don't really know us.
Yeah, I remember the whole time just putting it together. We're like, man, I don't know if this is going to resonate with people. I think,
Yeah.
it's, you know, I know Grandma's going to love it. But
Yeah.
besides that,
Mom and Dad.
yeah, so,
They might get a little teary-eyed. But yeah, it was amazing to see that so many people did resonate with it and felt the feelings that it makes us feel. You know, that was really, really, really cool. Like, I love our travel films, and they're exciting and maybe a bit more like showy and like really push us to be cool, you know, like have like cool transitions and cinematography movements and,
yeah.
you know, stuff like that. But this one for me, it was, I mean, it's personal, you know. I don't know where I was going with that, but
Yeah.
I think
this
It's
channel
cool.
was always supposed to be like, we have a lot of different types of content that we want to start putting out, but like those types of travel films, like the numbered ones, that's going to be like our main focus. Like we're probably not going to be able to keep pumping those out one a week, especially at the level that we're going to continually be trying to push them.
Right.
You know?
Well, especially once we're back on the road.
Yeah, exactly. Especially
Or, if luckily we were traveling so fast and filming much faster than what we were editing. So
Yeah.
luckily we have this backlog of travel adventures to draw from, because obviously we're not doing that right now.
which is really the best case scenario, because now we have time to really look back and really reflect on the production side of things and be like, what could we have done better? Because it's almost like this weird scaling process where, we started editing, we shot, what am I trying to say? We started editing them, and then we started shooting way more than we could edit. And so now we're going back to stuff that we shot like,
Months ago.
And we're saying like, oh man, like we were idiots back then. Like, we should have done this differently.
Right.
But what I was going to say though is what those videos always were supposed to be is they're supposed to be they're supposed to be first and foremost like almost like an Anthony Bourdain type homage.
Right.
Like we're really going to go for that like serious TV like travel film style.
Yeah, that's our goal. I don't think we've
That's our goal.
made one like that yet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, something like of that level, and then we want to incorporate just some other influences of like people like Sam Colder and J.R. Lee and Ben TK and people that we really respect on YouTube. So we're trying to like assimilate this like this YouTube culture with like kind of this like travel TV show culture, and we're trying to really we're just feeling our way through the dark right now and try to find kind of a common thread that will hold Wanderhoof together.
Right. And also just something that we can accomplish being a 2-person team.
Yeah.
That I think is a big hurdle for us, because there's so much that goes into a TV show like Parts Unknown.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an insane amount of work setting up all the interviews with people. And then, you have your camera guy, your audio guy. You've got like the talent, Anthony Bourdain himself actually talking to all these people. So there's an incredible amount of work and a lot of different moving parts that go into it. So being a 2-person team, it's definitely challenging.
Yeah, that's where pre-production would our fucking kryptonite would. That's where we would really step up our game if we started actually planning things. And we were pretty gung ho on it in the beginning, like making calls and sending emails and stuff. But when you're on the road,
it makes it
like,
much
the whole time,
harder.
you're living the life.
Well, not only that, but I mean, there was a couple week stretch where we were making a ton of calls, trying to set up a lot of interviews, and we just weren't hearing back from a lot of people, to be honest. So I think that kind of deflated things a little bit. But what's really cool too that we've learned by going to the national parks is it seems like a lot of the park rangers that we've run into at different national parks too are totally excited and happy to talk to us about the area on camera. So that's a really cool thing that we found out. But yeah, no, it's just a learning process. And but yeah, that's where we're headed towards, and we will accomplish it. I have faith.
Me too. All right, that's it. Anything else? Episode 1 down. I have no idea how long. We've been talking for like 4 hours.
I don't know. We have no concept because this is our first one. And I don't know. I guess it would be really cool for people to leave comments about what they want to hear from us. I mean, we have a lot of ideas of things that we want to talk about and share with everybody, but we would love to hear from our audience and make some things curated for them. So yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know if this was total shit, if you never want us to do this again.
Burn it. Kill it with fire. Yeah. All right, that's it.
That's it.
We need like a cool catchphrase then. Like, Wanderhoof out. My sister said something really funny, which was, not all those who wander are hoof.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that. Maybe put it on a t-shirt, but...
Yeah, maybe one day we'll get merch.
All right, Wanderhoof out.
Wanderhoof out. I like that.
All right.
All right.
Oh, these podcasts are going to be on Sundays. So we're going to start doing these Sundays and the normal content on Wednesdays. And then I think we're going to actually try incorporating another type of content during the week too, moving into the future.
Yep.
So.
Yep, you can find these podcasts on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can listen to a podcast, and on our website at wanderhoof.com.
Mm-hmm. Cinema on Wednesdays and conversations on Sundays.
That's the plan. Peace.
Nailed it.